So now we have to go through how we can insert some data inside this table that we just created. Inserting data into table. When you are inserting record in the table, you can provide the values for all the columns or for some columns. Use the following syntax when you provide the values for all the columns. So basically, to provide the value for all the column, maybe we can only provide value for CNAME and leave this both. We can provide the value for CNAME as well as city, but we leave the roll number as null. So null is not representing any values or zero or any representation of anything. Null is simply meaning here that no value is provided. That's what null is mean. So to provide values inside these tables, we can write the query in the following way. Insert into. What is this insert into? We call this as a clause. So this insert is a clause, into is a clause, and then insert into table name. Insert into table name. This is the syntax. So we are going to provide data inside practice name. This is what table named. Practice 1. And then in what column we have to provide values for. If we want to provide values for every column, then we don't have to use this query inside a bracket. We can just go like this. Insert into table name values clause, and then in bracket just provide a value. So for CNAME, which is char, let's provide Raj, comma, for roll number, maybe 22 is a roll number, comma. So maybe we can give a space here, we can't give a space here, that doesn't matter. Let me give a lot of space. Let's don't give any space right here. Then in city, suppose it's Delhi. Let's close the bracket, semicolon. It's going to give error because whenever we are working with alphanumeric values, which is alphabets basically, so we have to bind that alphabetical value with single quote. So here is a single quote. This one is also alphabetical, so bind this is with a single quote. Now press enter and query is okay. One row affected. Now how to see these values inside a table? So the query for that is select star from table name, which is practice 1, semicolon, enter. So this is the value that we have provided. But what if we don't want to provide values in all 3 columns? We only want to provide value for CNAME and city, not for roll number. So to do that, we have different syntax. What we have to write in query is insert into table name practice 1, and then we have to open the bracket and we have to provide the columns. in which we want to provide values. So I only want to provide values in CNAME. So I am going to write column name, CNAME, then close the value bracket, then clause values, open the bracket. So in CNAME, we have to provide alphabetical value with single quote. So let's give it Sumit. Close the bracket. One row got affected. To see the values, again select star from table name. So only Sumit value get inserted in CNAME and roll number and city are null. Again, null doesn't mean anything. It's just representing that there is no value. What will happen if I am going to provide numeric values in CNAME, because CNAME is of data type char? Or what if I provide string value, alphabetical value in roll number? So let's see, if we provide wrong type of data type in the columns, then what will happen? So insert into a query that we use to insert the values inside columns of a table. Insert into practice 1 table name. Suppose we are going to insert wrong values in every table, or maybe only one column, and let's see what will happen. Values, suppose we are providing numeric values where we have to provide alphabetic values, and in roll number let's provide alphabetic values preceding with, we must have to provide right values. So we saw one query to provide all the values in table. Whenever we are providing values to every column, then we are going to use this statement, or you can say query. But when we are going to provide only some values to the sum column, not all the column, then we are going to use this type of query. We are going to provide the column name where we want to provide the value, and values and the value. Even in this query, we can provide values to every column. If we are going to write every column name right here, roll number, city, then we can easily provide value to every column even from this query. Values, Menon 33, single quote में, city is Mumbai, close the bracket, semicolon. Okay, it's roll number, double M, city. So city is, so again next thing what is happening here is we have provided size for city, which is 5. It is going to be of 5 characters, but in Mumbai we have 6 characters. That's why it is giving error, data too long for column city. But for Menon For CNAME, we are providing 5 characters of name. So the size is 5. This is what size in the creation of table mean. If we provide size, then we have only option to provide the values of only that character. So again, let's run the Mumbai, and you can see still we are getting error data too long for column because it is bounded with size. So let's provide another city name, maybe what? Maybe NYD. So it's going to run well. Query is okay. One row got affected. Let's see the values that we entered in our table. So the query to show every table, every data inside the table is again select star from table name practice 1. Again, what is this star means? So don't worry about that. You will figure out in later videos. Just remember the query. Select is the clause star from the table name. So these are the values that we provided. We didn't provide any value for query where we submitted Sumit as CNAME. So it's getting null. And in next query, we provided this data to our table. So again, let me revise. To create the table, first we have to go inside a database in case of MySQL. So we selected our database using use statement, use query, use test1 database chain. If you want to see what are the database available, so the query is show data bases. These are the databases available. So first, to create the table, you must have to go inside a database. So by clicking use table query, suppose use test1, then the database test is selected from this list. Now we can create database or table. So to create, before proceeding to create a table, let's see how to create a database. We already have shown that, but let's remind that. To create a database, the query is create data base. Suppose test2. If you don't have any database, then first you have to create the database. Create database test2. Then again, let's display the list of database that are available. So data bases. So databases. Then we are going to select the database inside which we are going to create our table. So the query to select the database is test1. Use test1 database name. Then inside this database, we want to see what are the tables available. So the query for that is show table. So the practice 1 table we have created is showing. Now what are the columns that is present in this table? To show that, the query is practice 1. not use practice 1, show practice 1, not show, it's DESC practice 1. So here is the columns that are in practice 1 table. So this query is showing the columns available in this practice 1 table. But how to present the data that are available in this table or inside this column? So query for that is select star. We also get this. We also call this one as a select statement. Select star from table name practice 1. So here is the data that we inserted with the help of insert statement. So this is the select statement. If we are inserting data using this syntax, then that's the insert statement. Now let's see how to do these queries, how to run exactly same these queries or do same tasks in the case of Oracle. So let's open Oracle. We already have logged in here. So in the case of Oracle, we don't have any database system. Suppose we are running query here to display all the available database, show databases. It didn't have those features. Inside Oracle, we can simply just create our table. It is in this one, we don't have to first create a database, then going inside that database by using the use database name query, like this one. We can just simply start by creating our table without going inside any database, or by creating database first, then selecting that database, then inside that database we have to create a table. In Oracle, we can just simply start creating our table. So before creating table, let's see what are the tables available here. So table. For instance, it is not showing any table. So let's try to create a table first. Use this same syntax to create the table that we have used in our MySQL. So to creating a table, the syntax inside MySQL as well as in Oracle is same. Let's create a table first. The query is, or the statement is, create table test1 bracket open. Let's correct the create table spelling. We have to provide column name. Suppose again we are going to provide name, and also data types are same, but some data types are different. So let's go with char. Again, we also can provide size, or we can even leave it. It's depend on our choice. So let's leave this one right now. For integer type of value, numeric values, we have data type inside Oracle called number. Let's first provide the column name, which is roll number. Let's close the bracket. Let's only create these two tables, semicolon, enter, table created. So now this query will run. Let's try this, show tables. it's not working. So let's first see the columns that are inside the table. Test one. Yes, this query is working. We have two columns inside the table. Maybe the previous query is show table. Even not now. So let's try to create another table. Then we are going to run this same query again. Let's see what will happen. Let's hover on that. It's test 2. We have created another table. Let me run show table. It's not working. Maybe show tables. No, it is not working. So in order to display all the tables, the query is select table name from all tables. Enter. So here are the two tables that we have created, because this table is not inside any database, because of Oracle doesn't work on database. All the tables are right in front of us. We don't have to go inside any database, and then that table list is going to show up. It's just direct. Now let's insert some data inside this table that we just have created. So to do so, we have same queries that we have used in MySQL. So the queries are, first let's see what are the columns inside the test one. To do so, DESC test one, which is table name. So CNAME and roll number is the table columns available inside the test one table. To insert the value, we are going to use both those values. If I only want to insert the CNAME column, then we are going to use query, which is insert into test one column name, CNAME, leave the roll number, values is single quote Raj, single quote, semicolon. You can see we are getting error, value too large for column system test one CNAME. So because we didn't provided size inside the creation of table inside the Oracle, it by default provided the size, which is 1. So the Raj is not taking because it is exceeding the size. Let's again create one new table and see if that it is providing this 1 by default in size or what. So to create table, the query is create table test 3, suppose again CNAME. Let's go with var this time, and we are not going to provide size. There is some error. Create table test 3 var. Inside Oracle, we don't have var, we have var 2. So what is happening here? In the case of var, if we don't provide size, it is not going to work. So let's provide the size, suppose 5. change the table name because we can't create the same table with same table name. Table got created. Let's create the table with char data type. So it is working. So this is not big deal. This is just a little example. This all have to be getting figured out as we are going in our tutorial further. It's just a case of practice. So let's create a table right now with the size. But before that, let's check this one. That is not with size. DESC test 7. So by default, it is giving 1 to this table, column of this table. So let's create the new table with the size 5. For numeric values, we have number data type, maybe pin code, and let's change the table name. It can't be duplicate. Data type should have to be at last. Table got created. Let's see is that the size is now 5 or still it's 1, which is by default. Test it. So now it's 5. Let's insert the data inside this table. Insert into test 8. If we want to provide data to every column, then just give plus values Raj. We can't exceed the size, and the number is maybe at 2. One row created. If we want to populate the data only in one column, so the query for that is also same as MySQL one, which is insert into test 8 values. First we have to write the column name in which we have to provide the code and leave the others that is not meant to populated with the code data. So in pin code we want to provide 77 and leave the CNAME. This query is also working. Let's see the data. So the for query of that is select star from test 8. This is same from the MySQL one. So at first we provide the values for both columns, and in the second one we provided value for only the pin code one column. So basically, moreover, syntax are the same, but maybe some syntax are missing here in Oracle, which is available inside the MySQL. So the syntax are basically going to be same. But if we are going to provide data in every column by writing query for every table line by line, when we write one query, then only one row is, which is this row, is going to get populated. So for every row, we have to provide query. So what is the method to provide data in bulk? So for query to provide data in bulk, first we have to go in MySQL and we are going to see the queries data we are going to use in providing data in bulk. So to provide data in bulk, we have query insert into and the table name, which is practice 1, and then we are going to open bracket and then we are going to provide values for CNAME. It's again Raj Kumar. For number, maybe 44. For city, it's NYC 1. So this is the query to provide or to populate a single row, but we want to populate multiple rows. In order to do so, we are not going to end this query here. We are going to give comma and then again we are going to open the bracket, and in this one we are again going to provide Raj 2 55, city suppose NYC 2. Just do that for third row, open the bracket, Raj 3, maybe 55, NYC 3, close the bracket. So this code is for 3 line of rows. This data is going to in row 1, for row 2, and this is for row 3. This is for row 3. Enter. It is giving error because we have missed single quote. Again we got error. Why? Because we are exceeding the size. So let's change it to Raj 1. And now we are not exceeding any size. Let's close the bracket. Again, this is very simple. We are not providing values clause right here. So these are the syntax that you have to keep in mind. In the case of MySQL or Oracle, or you can say in database, syntax is everything. What we are doing, we are just storing data and retrieving data. So this is the game of syntax. Now you can see 3 row got affected. Let's see is that those data got inserted or not. Select star from query to run the select statement, which is going to display our table. Table name is practice 1. So here we inserted data in bulk. Is that this query to insert data in bulk is also going to work In case of Oracle, just try that. In here, in MySQL, if you want to provide bulk data in every column and you don't want to miss any column, then you are going to use this query. But if you want to provide values only to these chosen columns, not going to provide value in every column, then what you can do is you can select column name right here. Suppose we can select the column name, suppose C name. Then we are going to only provide values to the C name. We can delete this one. We can see right now. If we do so, then we are populating our table with bulk values, but these values are only for C name column. Again, you can see these rows got populated, but only C1 column, C name column is getting populated. So it's same, only want to populate the value in pin code, not in C name. Then pin code column is selected. In values, let's try to do same thing. Is it going to work? Press enter. SQL command not properly indexed. SQL command is properly indented, but this query is not suitable for Oracle. To bulk insert value inside the table of Oracle, we have different query, which is in values. We are not going to provide values. We are going to write and pin code and going to bound it with single quote and then close the bracket, semicolon, enter. Now you can see it is asking for value right here. 8, enter. Our value got inserted. Let's see. Select star from, this query is known as select query. What is the name of table? Just it. You can see 8. So the good thing about this statement is that if you click on / and enter, then it's going to ask for previous query. Suppose the previous query of ours is select statement, select star from test 8 / enter. So the previous query get called again. So if we go with this bulk insertion query in the case of Oracle, then it is going to ask to provide the value that we want to insert in pin code, enter, value got inserted. Then again you have to run the forward slash, it is again going to ask for the value. Suppose 77, again forward slash 99, again forward slash. Forward slash is basically calling the previous query. 3 forward slash. So this is how we can populate with bulk data inside the table of Oracle. Let's see, select star from test 8. Yes, this is the bulk data get inserted. Is that this statement is going to work on MySQL? Let's see. Let's change the table name, practice 1, and here we have roll number or maybe city. So it's not working. So to insert data in bulk inside MySQL, we are going to use this kind of query. If we want to provide bulk data to only one column, then we are going to provide column name here, or else we are going to leave this one and start from values. And in the case of Oracle, we are going to use this query. Suppose we have to provide value for every column, then we are going to change this with also cname, and inside here single quote and cname, close the quote, enter. First we have to provide pin code. It is asking for pin code 55, enter. Then it is automatically asking for cname. Then cname is going to be maybe Sumit, enter. So the value got inserted. Let's run forward slash. It is again asking for values 22, maybe Raj 3. The thing that you have to understand right here, if you are not going to provide single apostrophe, single quote right here, then at the time of providing values like here Raj, suppose if I am going to run forward slash, I provided 55 to pin code, and here if I am providing Raj 5, then I have to bind it with single quote. I have to do this when I didn't provided this single quote at the time of creating this query. But if I provided this single quote at the time of creating this bulk insertion query, then I don't have to provide this single quote. I can simply remove this. Let's run select statement from state. Look. So till now we understand how to create database in the case of MySQL. In case of Oracle, we don't have to create database. Here we can just directly create tables, and in the case of MySQL, first we create database. Inside that database we create table and then store values using multiple insertion queries. If we want to provide value to all the columns, then we use different query. If we want to provide values to only some of the columns, then we use different query. If we want to provide columns, values inside columns, but we want to provide values in bulk, then we have to use different queries like this one. Same in the case of Oracle, if we want to provide values inside table, we are going to use same syntax that we used in MySQL. But in the case of providing bulk insertion, bulk value insertion, then we have to use different query. So that's it. That is just a syntax for the insertion of the values in table in both cases, in case of MySQL as well as in Oracle. Let's go on our PDF again. So where are we are learning to create the table. We created table, inserting data into table. We already have covered the practice part, but let's go through the notes. When you are inserting a record in the table, you can provide the value for all the columns or for some columns. Use the following syntax when you provide the values for all the columns. We already have gone through this one. You can see again. To provide value in all the columns, we go with this syntax. This is the same one. But if we want to provide value in only some of the columns, then we use this syntax. Even using this syntax, we can provide values to every column. But if we don't provide value to every column, if we want to left some columns, then just don't provide name of that column here. Suppose CID, CNAME, city balance. We are removing city from here, and in values it goes like this. Now in case of Oracle, so we logged in using system username, provided password, then we created table, create table student name, because in Oracle we don't have to go in database or create database, then in the database we have to create table. It's not like that. We just simply can create table. Then using this query, we used to see the columns and the types of the table, and the numerical data type that support in Oracle is not int or big int or maybe long, it's number. And in case of alphabetic values, we can use varchar, and in varchar we have to provide size, otherwise it is not going to work. In MySQL, we already entered with password, we created a table, but before creating a table, we have to configure database. So we run this query show database, because no database is selected when we are creating table. First we are using database, we are creating database, then database got created, we are selecting that database change. Now in that database we are creating table, and we are going through the columns using this query. These are the columns that we made at the time of creation of table. Now the select statement to display all the values. We are using insert query. Now we are again using select query or select statement, you can say. We are again inserting the values, but it is giving some error. Column count doesn't match because we are providing less values in respect of our column. We have 4 columns, but we are already providing values for 3 columns. So for that we have to write or choose the columns right here in the bracket for which we are going to provide values, because we are not providing values for every column, we are only providing values for some column. So it goes like this. Now we are providing bulk values. We already covered this one. And it's saying 1 and 2 query, which is first query is this one and second query is this one, or you can say syntax. First and 2 syntax will only work on Oracle, and it is also going to work on MySQL, but the third syntax, which is the query to provide the bulk data, is not going to work on the Oracle. So for that we have different syntax which is using this AND logo. So we are providing our value using this AND logo, and then it is asking for values. Then we use forward slash to again provide our data. What forward slash do? It just recalls the previous query. Likewise, in MySQL and Oracle, we used to populate data in bulk into our table. In both cases of MySQL and Oracle, query are not case sensitive, but in case of data, Oracle is case sensitive. What this means? In both cases of MySQL and Oracle, query are not sensitive. This means that if we are providing data or running any query like insert value in city, which is going to be suppose Patna, but we are going to change the case of our query. Suppose value, we are going to change case, and we are also going to change the case of our value. Enter. One row got affected. Let's see. Select start from this one. So the query worked. Even if we are writing query in capital case, then it's work. What will happen if we write query in capital case in the case of Oracle? Let's see. Insert into case a values min 22. Is it going to work? values. Is it going to work? Yes, it worked. Let's run select statement. So the case is not case sensitive in case of both MySQL and Oracle, but the values are case sensitive. If we are going to search, suppose we are inserting the value with Patna in smaller case. We have two Patna, one is in uppercase, one is in lowercase. So if we are selecting particular values row, then we are going to use this query from, not from practice one, where city is equal to Patna. So you can see we are getting two outputs, both outputs. But we only search for the Patna that is in lowercase, but we are also getting Patna in uppercase. Don't get bothered with this query right now. Just understand that we are calling the Patna with lowercase, but it is showing the one with uppercase also. But this will not happen in the case of Oracle. Suppose we have Raj right here and we are inserting another Raj. But this time in uppercase, we have to provide column because we are only providing value to particular column. It got inserted. Select start from this there. So we have Raj with uppercase as well as with lowercase. If we are calling this same statement over here, then it is only going to give the Raj that is with lowercase. It is not going to give both datas. So this is what it means, that in both cases data are case sensitive as well as not case sensitive. In the case of Oracle, data is case sensitive. But in the case of MySQL, data is not case sensitive. And in both cases, syntax are not case sensitive. We can write in lowercase as well as uppercase, but the data are case sensitive in Oracle, but in MySQL it is not case sensitive. If we are calling Patna with lowercase, it is giving data in both cases, but if we are calling Raj that is in lowercase, then it is only giving the Raj that is in lowercase, not giving the Raj that is in uppercase. So in both cases of MySQL and Oracle, query are not case sensitive. But in case of data, Oracle is only case sensitive. This is the same example. Now, how to update data or how to delete data.